All right, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. This is Follow Along Friday, and it's not even Friday anymore. So I had a couple questions on how come I don't post a video every Friday. And that's basically because you don't have to look in here every single week. You kind of get a feel for what your hive's doing. And I know this is going to be, we're going to need to add the third deep. Probably should have added on last week, but it was raining and then I was out of town. So I got my ventilated jacket, which it's almost 92 degrees right now. I got my neck fan on, which is just amazing. Thank you, Jesse. And my suit's nice and clean for anybody that wants to know. Love the electric smoker. I don't have to sit there and bellow it. Look at that thing. Look at that thing rolling. I got cotton in that smoker. All right, so what we got? On. Amazing how well they can propolize anything. Down there. Again, keep that bucket level. We don't have to keep refilling it. The pollen patties are almost gone. You can see they're starting to get a little moldy. They are still eating that, so I will leave that on there. But as you can look down, she is full. And you can kind of tell you can see how they're already starting to work all these. Now these outside ones might not be so much. Let's find out, because they typically are not. I'll put the pollen patty over there. Still have our apivar on, which that should be coming off shortly. They're starting to do a little bit on that frame. Check this next frame. There we go. So they're putting a ton of honey in there, as you can see. That side they haven't got quite yet. So what we're gonna do is this is gonna be the frame that we're gonna pull up and we're gonna add it to our next box. So then we're gonna have 9 frames here, 9 frames in the bottom box, 10 frames in the top box. I'm gonna keep this honey one here. I'm actually gonna flip it around so the honey is on the outside, because we try to want to get all that honey out to the outside as much as we can. Already labeled my new box here with my brand new frames, so I'm gonna pop that right in the dead center. And we will see. This video is gonna be a little bit longer than normal, but I just want to see if my little lady is up here doing her job. They are sticking everything together. They're sticking stuff to the bottom frames. As you can see, that's all honey on both sides. We're actually going to change this up. Perch. So this is going to go more towards the inside. This is going to be our last frame. Because again, we want to push all that honey to the outsides. Try to give them as much room for eggs as we can. What is the date on our apivar anyway? 5/13. While I'm sitting there doing this, Jesse will do the math and see if we're at 45 days yet. Okay, so no eggs in here. Little patch of brood right there. What we got over here. Take our apivar, we're going to turn it around and we're going to put it somewhere else. I'm going to put it right down in this frame. There we go. All right, that's what I wanted to see. We have eggs, tons of eggs, larvae being formed. Everything's good to go. Same with this. This is all larvae in here. It's going to be kind of hard to see on camera because the eggs are just changing over from eggs to larvae, to very small larvae. There's a brand new bee right there. You can see it's kind of white on its head. See it walking away right there? That's literally brand new. I bet you that just hatched within the last couple minutes. Okay, well, you can see that frame's full of brood down in there. Got some funky drone comb going on there. I'm gonna leave that. You can see that's why this frame right here is missing that chunk, because they built out that brood comb there. So I'm gonna put this back. So again, I'm not gonna look for the queen because I know I see eggs in there, so I know she was there at least 3 days ago. And now the only other thing I have to do is, because we are going to switch up frames and we're only going to have 9 in here, I'm going to use my spacing tool to get these spaced out. And before you do that, you have to loosen up all your frames. Or else these babies will not slide in the least. So put that back over there. See where we're at with my spacing tool. This one's got to come over. And that one's got to come over. Now it's a little goofy when you're first changing out with the spacing tool, but after you space them, then every time you come in, it's a lot easier to get them frames spaced. Okay. Slide this one back. Now we're going to do that. This is that frame that had honey on this side and nothing on this side, so I'm going to bump that in one frame. And then I'm going to put this solid honey frame to the outside. Turn it around like that. Spacing tool in here. Manipulate them a little bit at first, but then after that, they pretty much go right down in there. Okay. Frames are evenly spaced. Pull my spacing tool off. Like I said, I'm just going to leave that little chunk of pollen patty on there. They're still eating it. You could pull it off and replace it, but I'm going to put this one here. And because these frames are brand new, I am still going to feed. What I'm going to do, I might switch buckets, because this bucket has been on here a while, and I'm willing to bet that they started to propolize all of the holes. And as you can see, that's exactly what they did. You see all the holes are filled. So now I'm going to take a little thumbtack and I'm going to pop them all open. Kind of had a feeling, if you look at your Pro Suite and they're not taking it down, but you're trying to draw frames, my guess is they did just that. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to put the wax side up, so next time I come in the hive, I can scrape this clean. I got my switch bucket up. I'm going to put that right there. Leave a little bit of an opening so the bees can get in. Why not? Doesn't hurt for your syrup to be too hot. Put this back on. Put that on. Now we're going to write whatever the date is. 3rd deep. And that's pretty much
Queen right.
switch Apivar and eggs. Look at that. That smoker was completely out. And now look at it. Let it go a little bit. That's why I love this smoker. I mean, it's just so much nicer. The entrance reducer, we've pulled the entrance reducer out. I'm going to add a cork to this one, and the reason I'm adding a cork to that one is because there's no bees up here defending it, and I don't want any type of robber bees coming in there. So I'm going to get a cork, and I'm going to cork that top box until I have about 5 or so frames where they're actually working on it, then I'll remove that cork. There we go, guys. Again, happy Father's Day to everybody. I'm so cool in my vented jacket with my neck fan on. Okay, and again, we wouldn't have to check this again in a week from now because we just added this box. We know we have a fresh bucket of Pro Suite on here, so we wouldn't have to add it or do another inspection for probably at least 2 weeks. So I would skip 1 week and then enter it in next week. There you go.